Hi, it's Katie at the Crafty Crab here, and welcome to my first design team video for G's Embellishment Emporium. I'm going to show you how to make 3 cards today using this heart-shaped nesting die set from G's Emporium. So it's one of those X-cut, and it's quite simple and easy to use for a lot of the small die cut machines. The 3 cards I'm making today are all going to use the same basic design, but I'll be using different size stock. The card I'm using here is just plain white stock and measures about 13 centimetres by 13 centimetres, but you can obviously use the design I'm about to show you on any size or shape. I'm going to be using these wood veneer sheets that I picked up from Hobbycraft just before Christmas. They're great because they're adhesive and there is some texture to them. They feel quite vinyl, but there are different colours, as you'll see. So the first thing I did was die cut these hearts into the adhesive sheets. So as you'll see throughout the video, this is going to be a very similar pattern that I do, but for 3 very different cards. So this one is for a condolence card, and I wanted to use some deep dark colours for the heart. So I've picked the darker wood and the lighter wood, and I'm just checking how they overlap and lay over each other here. I really like how it's coming together. I basically had this idea the other day when I was going through my stash from G's Emporium. I saw the heart design, and initially I was thinking of making a Valentine's card for my design team video, and then I suddenly thought, actually, one of the cards I don't often make is a condolence card, and so when the unfortunate happens, I normally have to buy one. So I just had this idea in my head, and I thought, let's see how it could play out for a condolence, a birthday, and a Valentine's card. So here is another example of some of the great things that G sells. So Gareth, on Gareth's store, he has lots of tools for the everyday use by crafter, and he sent to me as part of my design team package one of these craft picks, which was really helpful because the adhesive on this was fantastic, but it was really tricky to peel back without the use of a craft pick. So now I'm going to speed this up in a minute so that you can see how I put this together and the remaining cards using a similar pattern. Okay, so you've seen me laid the base for all 3 cards. So I'm now working on the birthday card, and I've sped this up again just so that you don't get too bored watching me cut bits of paper. I found this birthday embellishment in my stash, and I'm going to back it onto some black card using these foam dots, again from G Store. So he also sells some great adhesives and, like I said earlier, tools and all the basic essentials a good crafter needs. So I did try to use the craft pick to remove these, but actually in the end it was a lot quicker and easier to use my nails for that. But it's certainly useful if you are using those X-cut adhesive sheets. So I'm going to back this birthday sentiment onto some black card because some of the colours are all a bit pinky and purpley and blended into each other, and I wanted this to pop out. As you'll have seen through the time-lapse earlier section, for this card I used the alternate hearts again, but I edged them all with Memento inks, and I used the love letter colour, and I just thought that this would make a beautiful background for a birthday card. Obviously this is very feminine, and so this is going out to a very good friend of mine. I wanted some contrast as well, so once you see me cut this and separate this, you'll see I've also dug out some purple stripy paper just to give it an edge. So again, this is from my stash, but I just wanted to show you, like I said, how to use that heart-shaped die for 3 different cards, but in a very similar style. So I'm just attaching that blue stripe banner and making sure it's straight, and then I'll attach the birthday sentiment. The next card I'm finishing is the condolence card. So for this, I got to use one of my new Christmas presents, which was a Fiskars paper trimmer. So all I want to do is cut down a piece of white paper, just keep it nice and simple that I can stamp on the sentiment. So here I'm trying to sort out the right width, and I'm going to use the sentiment with deepest sympathy, and I'm just going to stamp it in black and then edge it with another memento ink, peanut brittle, just to make it stand out against the wood veneer heart shapes. The next card I'm going to show you is my Valentine's card. So this is for my husband, and as you saw earlier, I used the heart-shaped die cut and I used the white wood veneer papers to create the heart shapes. Now I went through around all of them, you may have noticed, with a memento love letter ink first, but I actually didn't like how it looked, so I went around it again with peanut brittle, and that kind of softened it a bit and made it less red and pink. So here I've done the same pattern of all of the hearts, and then what I've done is I found some gold foil. It's actually quite metal-like, so you need to be really careful using this with your fingers, and the die cut it really well, but I think because it was quite thick, I just, as you saw, just had to trim some of it just to give the edges a bit more clarity. So here I'm actually putting this gold heart in the bottom right corner, and this is to set it off for my Valentine's Day card. The stamp I'm actually going to use is going to be less of a lovey-dovey sentiment and more of something relevant to my husband and I. But I thought that this was a nice alternative to a Valentine's card that isn't all pink and girly and in your face, and maybe guys will appreciate it a bit more, being a little bit more masculine. And that's it. Here are my 3 cards using the heart-shaped die from G's Embellishment Emporium. My Valentine's Day card using the hearts with the wood veneers and the gold metal foil. I had to go over the stamp impression in the end because the ink wouldn't work too well on that vinyl, and I've edged it, as you can see, with peanut brittle. For the birthday card, I think this has come out really well. I really like the heart-shaped pattern on the back, and I ended up going back through my stash from G's Emporium and used these beautiful white creamy coloured resin flowers, and I just think that sets it off really well at the bottom. And lastly, my condolence card. I think this is actually one of my favourites. I really like the effect it's given, and I do think it is quite neutral but also very sensitive, and I think this is just a really nice way of showing you how you can use that heart-shaped die for 3 different themes: love, birthdays, and obviously sad condolences. But thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really appreciate having the opportunity to be on the design team. So I hope you liked it. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.